So this is the assembly of the tall witch hat. So I have my semicircle or my cone-shaped piece, and I've just folded down on all the score lines. So now I have the 6 decorative pieces that I'm going to glue down. So I'm just putting glue on the underside of each one of them. I'm just centering it within the score lines that are on each panel, like so. And I'm going to do that with all 6 of them. Notice the purple ink on the underside. The edges of my poster board are white. So I've just gone in with a marker and I've just drawn on the white parts just to camouflage them a bit. I'm just putting glue on the tabs on the side of my piece, right up to that tip. And then I'm bringing the other end around and gluing it to the tab. So it goes right from the point to the larger end. And then I'm going in with my bone folder and I'm just spreading that glue. That's the lid for my box. So next I have this piece and I've just folded down on all 6 sides. So for my hexagon, and then I've folded on the tabs that are on the side of each one of these flaps. So I'm just choosing one of those tabs, doesn't matter which one. I'm putting glue from the score line to the edge of the tab. And then I'm folding it inwards to meet up with the panel that's beside it. And I want the cut edge of that panel to be right against the score line for that tab. So I'm working my way around my piece, doing that for all 6 tabs. So now I've got my circular piece. I have a scored shape in the center of my circular piece to show me exactly where to glue down the bottom of my box. I'm adding glue all over the bottom of it, just positioning it within those score lines. And then I'm going in with my bone folder and spreading that glue. I have my decorative piece that fits just over, so I'm going to put glue on the back of it. And I'm just lowering it down, trying to center it as much as possible on my base. And there's the lid. So now I'm going to add the buckle to the base of my witch's hat. I have this long, narrow, curved piece, and I'm just folding down on all the score lines. And then I have my buckle, so it's 2 pieces. I'm going to glue them back to back to make it nice and sturdy. And I've cut these out of foil craft board. Then I have my embellishing pieces that are cut out of glitter. So I'm going to take one of my trapezoid shaped glitter pieces. So I'm putting it on one of the center panels, so let's say on the 4th from the left. And then I'm going to take my buckle piece. I'm coming from the underside of it and then threading it through and then putting it over that glitter cardstock like so. And then I'm just going to adhere the rest of my glitter panels all the way around. And then I'm putting glue on the tab that's at the end. I want the cut edge of the end to be right against the score line of my tab, so that fits over my witch's hat. So you can use it with or without, so it doesn't fall off because of the size of it, but you could certainly put a little glue dot behind the buckle just to make sure that it stays in place. So these are the assembly instructions for the traffic cone. I've just folded down on all the score lines for that main cone piece. And then I have this little tiny piece that looks like a sun, and I've folded down on all the score lines around like so. I'm going to put glue on one of the rectangles around the shape. I'm adhering it to one of the center trapezoid shapes in the middle of my main piece. And then I'm putting glue on the tab beside it, and I'm adhering it to the next panel over. So the top of this shape is exactly the same size as the top of my panel. So the cut edge of these panels fit right along the score line, like so. So I'm doing that all the way around. So I've glued all the way around except for the last panel and the tab. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to grab this other piece. Now it looks a lot like that tiny little piece on the top. It's basically the same shape. I'm just folding down on all the score lines for it. And it has a piece that fits right on top. I'm just gluing that piece right to the center of my shape. So I'm going to take one of these tabs and I'm going to put glue on it. I want to match it up to the spot on one of my panels that is the same width as my tab. I'm just putting glue on one of those tabs and carefully gluing it in where it fits exactly between the score lines. The bottom of my tab has to be parallel with the bottom of my cone. So next I'm going in and putting glue on the tab beside the one that I've just glued down, gluing it down right beside, and I want this at the same level, and I want it straight with the bottom. I'm just going around my shape and just gluing those tabs in. I'm just going along putting glue on my tabs and then just adhering them to the side of my shape. So now I have the tab from the top and the tab from the bottom that are not glued in. I'm going to put glue on them. I'm going to fold that side tab down and adhere it to those two tabs. And then I'm going to put glue all over that side tab and all over the remainder of that middle tab. I'm folding my last side over and closing up my shape. So I've decided to put some decorative panels on my cone, and I should have adhered them before I assembled it, but it's really not that much harder to do it now. So I'm just putting glue on them and then just gluing them down to the 6 sides of my cone shape. And next I have the bottom for my box, and it is another shape that looks like a little bit like a sun, and I'm just folding down on the score lines that form the center hexagon. I have tabs on the 6 sides, and I'm just folding down on the score line to create those tabs. So I'm just putting glue from the score line to the edge of my tab, and I'm raising up the neighboring panel, and I want the cut edge of that panel to be right against the score line of my tab. And I'm going to go around the entire shape doing the exact same thing. So next I have the base. I'm probably going to cut another shape out of craft board just to reinforce this, because this is way too flimsy. So I've scored the hexagon shape to help me place the bottom of my box. I'm just putting glue on the bottom, and I'm just going to place it within those score lines. And then I'm going to go in with my bone folder and spread all that glue. And then I have an embellishing piece. I'm just going to put glue on the back of it, and I'm just going to glue it down to my base. And then I have my lid, and it fits right on top. So that's my traffic cone.